If you have ever had moments where creativity feels effortless, where ideas move through you, where everything just clicks, that wasn't luck. That was what we call flow. A state that you can create intentionally. Let me show you how. Welcome back. I am Dr. Sherman Rivers, and today we're opening a new series on one of the most powerful aspects of the entire creator experience, flow. Most creators believe flow is spontaneous, unpredictable, something you have to wait for. But flow isn't random. Flow is a frequency, and you can enter it deliberately. Now let's break this open. Flow is a deeply aligned energetic state. Flow happens when your mind is clear, your nervous system is relaxed, your intention is pure. You know what your intention is. Your identity is aligned. You're creating from who you are and what you are, not who and what you pretend to be. Your energy is opened. Your focus is present. Your emotional frequency is elevated. In this state, this is when your intuition sharpens. You just kind of know. Your ideas unfold naturally. Your creativity becomes fluid. Your expression becomes effortless. Flow is what happens when all parts of you line up. And you have experienced flow more than you realize. Flow moments look like losing track of time while you're creating. Have you ever been creating something and time just seems to slip away? Hours pass, sometimes days can pass, and you look back and you say, where did the time go? You were just in it. All of that was a moment. You were completely invested in what you were creating. You lost track of time. Flow is when you can write and speak without thinking. Ideas arrive faster than you can record them. You feel like you're being pulled by inspiration. You have clarity. And this clarity feels effortless. It's not like you're trying to clear your mind, like you're trying to focus, like you're trying to see the vision. It just happens. You're able to move without overthinking. You create with this emotional ease. Every creator has felt these moments. And it wasn't like you got lucky. It was because you were in the right state. See, flow isn't about motivation. It's about lowering resistance. You don't enter flow by hyping yourself up. You can't force inspiration or push through the mental blocks, wait for the perfect mood, or demand motivation. Flow emerges when the inner resistance dissolves. Flow is the absence of resistance, not the presence of hype, motivation, dedication. It's the absence of resistance. And that's why grounding and safety, identity, and alignment are prerequisites. These are things that need to be in place before you enter that state of flow. Flow is a frequency. It's not a feeling. Flow isn't excitement. It's not high energy. It's not inspiration. Flow is coherence. It's presence, alignment, relaxed focus, emotional openness, energetic clarity, even an intuitive connection. You don't create flow, you enter it. It's the same way you tune into a radio station. And there are some specific things that block flow. And most creators don't realize what it is, what's keeping you from entering that state of flow. Flow is impossible when you're stressed out, when you're rushed. when you're criticizing yourself. You're self-critical. You're overthinking. You're afraid of judgment. You're out of alignment. You're misaligned. You're attached to the outcome. You're tense. Your emotions are tense. Even multitasking, trying to do too many things at one time. Essentially, you're dysregulated. And flow can't exist in this contracted state. Flow requires that you be open. It requires openness. And so we have to ask ourselves, how do we enter this state of flow on purpose? Not by accident, not because these things happen to align, but on purpose. Let's talk about how to trigger flow. Here's some of the core practices that reliably bring you into the state of flow. First off, slow down your internal pace. Flow begins with calm. Not speed, but a state of calm when you're relaxed. And part of that relaxed state is the regulation of your nervous system. So how do we do that? We can take long exhales, relax the muscles, release the tension, and find safety. Safety opens the channel. And then next, we have to clarify our intention. Clarify your intention. Flow needs direction, not pressure, but direction. Where are we going? What direction do we want to head in? We have to clarify that. What do we intend to do? And then shift into presence. Bring your awareness into the moment. Not the outcome, but into the moment. There's a huge difference between being in the moment and being in the outcome. Being in the moment is present. Being in the outcome is future-based. You can never be in the future. You can't be in the past. The only place you can be is in the present. So shift into that. Be present. Presence is the doorway to flow. And then follow the first impulse. Flow begins the moment you act before your mind interferes. Let me say that again. Flow begins the moment that you act before your mind interferes. Think about that. When you have that impulse, you just know what needs to be done, and then you take action. Rather than waiting and giving doubt the opportunity to seep in, giving negative thoughts the opportunity to sink in. You had an intention, you know what needed to be done, but you waited until that second mind, that opposing mind, could come in and say, but what about this? What about that? Maybe this. What if they don't like me? What if I fail? What if I can't complete this? You have to follow the first impulse when it comes to flow. You act before your mind interferes. The impulse is the invitation. Flow is when you take it, when you accept that invitation immediately. And next, stay emotionally open. Flow collapses in emotional contraction. When you're emotionally contracted, when you tighten up, flow collapses. Openness keeps that channel clear. Contraction closes the door. So I'll leave you with this. Flow isn't luck. It's not something that just happens randomly. It's not magic. Flow isn't random. Flow is a deeply aligned state. Now, you may get there occasionally because all the stars align. But you can access it on purpose when you understand the conditions that create it. So this micro series will show you exactly how to do that. And next up in this series, we'll talk about how flow emerges when you release self-consciousness.